Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Today, inshallah, we'll continue our meeting, and today is the fourth meeting in our class in speaking for academic setting. And today's topic is about reading and presenting a chart or a graph. Okay, so that's gonna be about how to read and how to present a chart, and we will also learn about kinds of charts or graphs. Actually, there are a lot of charts. Okay, there are a lot of kinds, the types of charts, but we're not going to learn all of the kinds. I'll just pick some of the most common charts. Okay, but before starting the meeting, I need you to comment on the live chat column. Okay, maybe that's below this video or that's on the right screen. Okay, you may see live chat comment there. Okay, um what else before studying? Yes, do not forget to write your name and class. Okay, because in today's meeting we have two classes, class B and also class D, so make sure that you write your name and then your class. Okay, well, let's start. This is the first slide that I have. Actually, I had already prepared this last night. Okay, as I taught you before that this course, speaking for academic setting, is also new for me. So this kind of course, this is the very first time for me to teach this kind of course. So I also learn. Okay, we learn together. We learn together about this course, and as written in our syllabus, okay, in my RPS, today's meeting is going to be about reading and presenting graphs or reading and presenting charts. So whether I use the term chart or graph, they are actually similar. Okay, so do not be confused when I maybe later on I'll change the term into chart and then at the different time I use the term graph. So they are actually similar. Okay, and I think I need to question you first before going further about the tips or maybe tricks to present or to read a graph or chart. Of course that at the very first time we have to understand about the term chart itself. Do you know what is chart? You may answer that on the column chat. Okay, what is chart or what is graph? So what is graph? Okay, I'm waiting for your answer. Just type. Okay, type your answers about what the chart is. Okay, what the definition of chart is. Okay, I'll be waiting. Okay, let us see the chat column. Do we have comments from you? I don't see any comments yet. Okay, that's okay. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe I also believe that everyone here, my students and also I, really knows about what chart actually is. Maybe you have a picture in your head about chart, right? About graph. So that's gonna be like bar, okay? Maybe bar chart or line chart or even scatter plots or histogram or even pie chart. You know pie? That's like a circle chart, okay? The definition of chart, if we have to define it, that's actually like the representation of graphical data, or that's just like graphical representation for data visualization in which the data is represented by symbols. So the symbol, as I taught you before, that could be like bar, okay, like a bar chart, or lines in line chart, or slices in pie chart, or slices in circle chart. So there is a type of chart like a circle, so that's circle, and then there's just also like pie, pie kind of cake. So that's just like a pie, and then there is slices, there is slice. Sometimes it has one or more slices, so we call that as pie chart or circle charts. And they are the representation, as I taught you before. So this just could be like tabular numeric data, and functions or some kinds of quality structure and provide different information. So in every chart there will be information about specific things, okay. It depends on the writers or the designers who create the chart. So the information could be like cells, okay, cells. It could be like scores, student scores, or even the results of our research data. So this just like questionnaires data. So the information, it depends, the informations in chart actually depends on the person who create the chart itself. Okay, we continue to the next slide. We're done with this. I hope you understand what the chart is and also the function of chart. Actually, I had already mentioned before, right, a little bit about the function of chart itself. So the goal of chart itself, the goal for creating a chart itself is actually to ease us, to ease understanding of large quantities of data and the relationship between parts of the data. And charts can usually be more quickly than the raw data. You know, they are used in a wide variety of fields and can be created of hand, on graph paper, or by computer using a charting application. And certain types or charts, the certain types of charts are more useful for presenting a given data set than others. For example, one of the example is just like data that presents percentages in different groups, such as satisfied, not satisfied, unsure, or the answers for questionnaires, very agree, very disagree, neutral, okay, some stuffs like that, okay, some stuff like that. And they are often displayed in pie charts, so it depends on the person who have the information and the person who wants to write or create the chart itself. So the informations like questionnaires information, questionnaires answer from the respondents, it could be uh, it could be more easily understood by different types of charts. So it depends again on the designer. Those information will be displayed in line chart, or in bar chart, or in the form of a pie chart. So it depends. Okay. I think that's pretty clear, and that's not really complicated, I think, about the function of chart. So the thing that you have to know is only the chart is created to make us easy to understand the information or to understand the data that we want to present to the readers or we want to present to the listeners. Okay, so that's the main function of having chart. Well, now let's go to the next slide. Kinds of charts. I guess you had already know some of the types of charts because I had already mentioned that before, right? Some kinds of charts like bar chart, pie chart, scatter, histogram, okay? Uh, Here it is. Actually, in today's world, I mean, in today's teaching and learning, this is very easy to access chart, right? To create a chart. If you open your computer and then you open again Microsoft Word, or this should not be in Microsoft Word actually. If you go to Microsoft Excel, you can also find, I mean, the menu like having chart, create a chart, right? So this is one of the few, or I mean, this is my screenshot on Microsoft Word. You may see here, I had already taken pictures of kinds or the types of charts. Let us see one by one. So in my Microsoft Word, okay, maybe that's gonna be different in other, in I mean in another kind of Microsoft Word versions. I don't know, but this is mine. In my Microsoft Word, there are some. I think this is more than 10 types of charts. The first chart is column. Okay, this is this one, column. And column chart is like bar chart, right? Almost like bar chart, so they are almost similar in type. And the second is line chart. Okay, the second is line chart. And the third is here, pie chart, or in some other, I mean, people also call pie chart as circle chart, okay? Circle chart or pie chart is gonna be okay for both, okay? People will understand when you say pie chart or even circle chart. And the next type, I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is gonna be number 4, okay? And this number 4, I mean the type number 4 is bar, okay? Bar chart. And the next type is area chart. And here, what do we have here? The next type is scatter, X and Y scatter. So it has axis, axis like X axis, and Y axis, horizontal and vertical line for showing, for showing the informations about the data. So there is scatter, but scatter here is not like line chart or pie chart or even a bar chart. In scatter, you'll have dots, okay, just like small circle, like the dots, right? Dots gather in some areas, okay, that's scatter. And the next type here is stock, okay, stock. And the display of this chart is also almost similar with bar and also column chart, but the difference, this is actually could be used for stock market. Stock in Indonesian we call it saham, right? Okay, so this kind of chart usually used for that. And here the next type of chart is surveys, okay, surveys chart. There's just like 3 or 4 dimensions of chart, and then in the area of the chart there will be like boxes, or like not bar, but this is actually like a bar too, but not really that high like a bar we have in column or in bar chart. Okay, let us see later. We'll learn it later on. And the next type is radar. Okay, radar bahasa Indonesianya. Okay, radar. And the next is tree map. Okay, tree map. Tree like pond. Tree map. And the next type is sunburst. Okay, I think that has been more than one. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's number 11, sunburst. Okay. And the 12th type is histogram. Histogram is also a common one. Okay. And for researchers and also for students in our department, English education department, mostly in their thesis they have histogram. Okay. And number 13 is box and whisker. Number 14 is waterfall, and the last is combo. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. There are 15 types of charts that I have in my computer, I mean in my Microsoft Word. Okay, but today in this through this video, I mean through this live streaming, I think we will not learn all of the kinds or all of the types of the charts, because it takes times, right? And we don't have that much of time. So I will only present or explain some of them, maybe 4 or 5 kinds of chart. You may see on the screen, this is my next slide. So most common charts, I will only explain to you about this 5, inshallah. Okay, the first is bar chart, the second one is line chart, the third is histogram, and the fourth is pie chart or circle chart, and the last is scatter chart. Okay, scatter chart or scatter plot. Okay, they are the 5 types of charts that I'm going to show you. Okay, how to read and how to present them. Okay, I think I missed this in my previous explanation, how to display a chart. Okay, you also have to know how to display a chart. If you do not use computer, okay, if you do not use computer for designing your chart, of course that you've got to do it manually, right? If you do it manually, of course you have to know that there will be vertical and also horizontal lines in your chart, and in every horizontal and vertical we have the name for that. The name is axis. Okay, axis. So x axis and y axis, like when you learn mathematics. Okay, like when you learn about math in a graph, there will be axis, right? So x axis and y axis. So the axis, I mean, in the area of the chart, there will be like a grid of lines. A grid of lines may axis within the graph, okay, within the chart or within the graph. But this is actually not a must. That is why I put it in uppercase, in capital letter, the word may. So it means this is optional. So in our chart and in some charts, there will be like a grid of lines in the area within the graph. But in some other kinds of charts, you may actually erase, or without having lines, you will have no grid of lines within the graph. So this is, once again, this is optional in your graph. Okay, so if you find a graph or you want to create a graph, the lines within the graph could be optional. Okay, you may have it and then you may leave it. Okay, or you may erase or omit that. And I want to show you to make you clear about types of charts. The first is bar chart. So this is the display. This is the picture of bar chart. You may see there are how many charts picture. Okay, please comment, because you cannot talk. I cannot hear you too from this YouTube. So just do the live comment, and then I'm going to read your comment. How many bars? So this is very easy to be understood actually in bar chart. There will be some bars in one chart, right? And in this chart, the area within the graph or the area within the chart, there is a grid of lines, right? So behind the bar picture, or behind the bar symbols, I mean behind the bar symbols, we may see we could see the lines, right? The lines and the lines goes to x axis and also y axis. Okay, x-axis and y-axis. And what is this bar chart about? This is not clear because I just zoomed this picture last night. I forgot to let you see the title of this, but you may see on the left side that is, I would like this to be the percentage. So there are ranges of numbers, okay, numbers or data here, starting from 0, and then 10, and then 12, I'm sorry, 10, 20, and then 30, right? So that's the range or the interval of the percentages. On the bottom, okay, on the bottom, that's gonna be like, you may see a fruit. So this chart is about fruit, okay? So fruit, absent, present, absent, present, absent, present, okay? You could see there are two different bars. The first is in red color and the second one is in blue color. And for every red color, it means absent, and for every blue color, that's gonna be present, okay, present. And the information of that you can also see on the right screen, okay, right, I mean on the left, on the right side of the chart, the condition. So the condition is absent or present, okay. And how to read this, we will learn this, okay, after I show you all of the examples I have in this chart. Okay, I think this is not really difficult for knowing or for make you realize and notice the example of this bar chart. Okay, we go to the second example of the chart. The second chart or the second graph I have is line, okay, line chart or line graph, okay. So it is suitable with the name of this chart, line. The looks or the display of this line chart is like a line, okay. You may see on your screen that this is just like a line. So within the area of the graph, how many dots we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry. There are 5 red dots, and for every dot, every dot is connected with line, okay. Every dot is connected with line. It shows like a real line, right? So that is why this chart name line chart, because it looks like a line. And the line is also function for telling us about the information or the data in the data in this chart. You may see on the horizontal and also the vertical, I'm sorry, on the bottom there is no information about how many numbers or what kind of data it shows. I'm sorry, this is only a picture just to make you alert or make you to make you realize or to make you know about this line chart. I think this is very clear, right? So line chart, so this is the looks. And sometimes for line chart itself, there are also some kinds of line charts, I mean the display. So sometimes the line chart, in line chart there will be no dots like what I show you here. So the red dots, the 5 red dots, so here you may actually omit the dots, okay, and it just go with the line, okay. It just goes with the line. That's also okay in line chart, okay. Well, this is the third example of the chart. This is histogram, okay, histogram. You could easily this histogram actually could be found when you analyze your data through SPSS, okay, SPSS, so the output. And in our department, English Education Department, and the Faculty of Teacher and Education, I mean in our campus, in our university, Most of students in our department use this histogram to show their data, okay, to let the readers know about their data information. And you may see here that this kind of histogram, there is also a line, okay, a line within the chart, and the line shows the dynamics of the bar in the graph. But actually the lines within the graph, that's also could be omitted, okay. So in some kinds of histogram, we may omit the line and we just have the bar, okay. That's also okay. Okay, this is the next, okay, the next kind of chart. This is pie chart or circle chart. This pie chart or circle chart, this is very easy to know, right? Okay, to be known or to see. I always have this kind of chart in my articles or research article, because I think this kind of chart is very easy to understand. So when the readers see my writing, the information about my data, by having this kind of charts, they may see the pieces, okay, the slices or the pieces within this pie chart. And this is very easy to be noticed and to be understood by people. Here you may see there is a big circle. It contains a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slices, right? We may see which one is the uh, the biggest. Which one is the biggest slice here? So this is very clear, and we can do our own analysis, and it is very easy to be read, right? So the biggest percentage of this this chart, the information in this chart is in the green color. That's gonna be in social. You may see the information. Another information's on the right side: homework, social, other, research, games. Okay, so this is very easy. This is very recommended for you, okay, when you write your thesis later on. And this is one of the example of scatter chart, okay. This is scatter chart or scatter plot. Sometimes I change the name scatter chart into scatter plot, okay. The difference of this chart with the previous charts isn't the dots or the small circles. The circles, there are circles, okay, more than one circle within the graph to show the information. It could be used actually, scatter chart could be used for for correlational research. So when you see how could two different data correlate each other, and then you want to let the readers know about their correlation, this scatter chart, okay. This is very recommended for you. I think it's enough for showing you some examples of the looks or the display of 6 charts, okay, 6 charts that we're going to learn today. Now maybe I think we need to go to the real data and then the examples on how those data are presented in charts, in different kind of charts, okay. So this is the place for showing you the examples of every chart. Mostly this is for your information. Mostly the charts, if you write a thesis, the charts mostly appear on chapter 4 for results of the study or the presentation, data presentation, and data analysis of your study or your research, okay. Through this example, I'm going to show you a table Table is actually not a part of graph or not a part of chart. If you go to Microsoft Word here, okay, and then go to insert menu, table is in different menu with chart. Okay, so chart is here, so this is chart and this is tables. Mostly the raw data or list of data of the study are presented in table, and it is put at appendix, right? Appendices ditempatkan di lampiran, because if you have, for example, you have 100 or 1,000 respondents, and then your data will be a lot. Okay, you'll have a big data for that, and if you only write it in article, or you want to show, or you want to let the information to be noticed by your readers or your listeners within an article, of course that's gonna take a lot of pages, many pages. Okay, many pages. And how to shorten this information. The solution, as I taught you before, chart is the solution, because if we use chart or graph, a row of data or tabulations of data that you have, it could be shortened and could be presented in an easy information for your readers or your listeners later on, because it shows you can have percentages, and you can also have like intervals or ranges in your chart. And here the example that I'm going to show you is about, what is this about? Speaking and writing. Okay, speaking and writing. So this is on chapter 4 if you are writing in thesis, undergraduate thesis or master degree thesis. And descriptions of the data, you'll have data presentation, right? Data presentation mostly, but actually this is not a fixed templates. Okay, a fixed templates if you're writing a thesis, or you want to present your thesis in examinations, or in proposal examinations, or even monacosa examinations, final examination for your research. No, so it depends on the campus. Okay, the campus procedures and the campus policy for the formats or the templates of your presentation, data presentation. But in our department in Wenceslao, PBI Wenceslao, we have actually like this. Okay, chapter 4 for results of the study, and you're gonna have descriptions of your data, and you will also have data presentation and data analysis. And look at what do we have here. Look at what we have here. Okay, the frequency distributions of student speaking skill score. Okay, this is too small. Just zoom in your screen, or I'll help you zoom in from here. Okay, this is data information for the frequency distribution of student speaking skill scores. And how to read this or how to present this, we're not going to learn how to read and how to present this kind of table, no, because our focus for today is not table, but our focus is only on chart. Okay, but my intention to show you this kind of data in table, data in this table, is to let you know that this data, this long list of data, it takes, you may see here, there are 34 rows in this data, right, in this table. So score number 1, score number 2, score number 3, until score number 34, and that's quite a lot, right? That's quite a lot. And this is it is not complicated actually, but it's a little bit difficult for readers or for people who listen to your presentation or to read your writing about your data, because your table is quite long, right? So it's quite long table and information. There are a lot of information over here. There are a lot of numbers in it, right? You may see here a lot of numbers starting from the scores, frequency, percent, valid percent, cumulative percent, and all. And yeah, it looks complicated, although this is not complicated, but it looks complicated, right? So actually this table, you can change this table information, I mean the data information from this table into chart. Okay, let us see what kind of chart we can have. Over here, this is chart. Let me enter this first so that you may see in a full view of this chart. Okay, this kind of chart. I'll zoom in. So, okay. The information from this chart, you may see this chart. Chart 4.1, the frequency distribution of student speaking skill scores. Okay, jadi ini adalah data frekuensi distribusi dari nilai speaking score siswa. So you may see over here, it is very easy to read. I mean, not very easy actually, but this is easier than the previous information in table. Okay, jadi the table before, and then if we compare the table before with this kind of chart, I think this chart is easier, right? This is easier than table because we may see the dynamics, right? We may see the dynamics of the chart. We may see the dynamic of the data presented. Okay, the data presented through the bar in the graph or in chart itself. So you may see there is a very small row, a small what do we call this? The small bar, and then we have the highest one. We have almost similar, so we can analyze three actually. Which one is the highest, which one is the lowest, and which one is the medium? Or if we can notice the different data, the different score from this chart, you may see that there are 1, 2, 3. There are three bars for the score, and they are similar in height. Jadi sama tinggi dia. Okay, it is almost similar in height. So it is good for us to read chart by having the analysis. Okay, so I hope if you are assigned after this by me to read or present a chart or present a graph, you're gonna do your own analysis for it. Okay, do your analysis for it, and please mention the priority, or the priority here is like which one is the dominant, the dominant one, the most noticeable one and the symbol within the chart, and start with that. Okay, for example, you may start with the highest, okay, the highest score, or you may start with the lowest score, and then you can also start with the medium, but actually it would be better if you go with the highest or the lowest first. Okay, because it is very easy for us. Oh, this is the highest. Okay, the highest data is in this range, and the lowest is in this range, and then you can go on the third lines, or the third time for saying the medium. Or if you see the similarities within the charts, okay, then please mention that, whether you want to present that orally or you want to write that in your thesis later on. Okay, so you may say like that. And how can you read this? Of course, first thing that you have to do if you have this kind of chart is please mention the title of the figure, or mention the title of the chart first. Okay, please mention what is the chart is about, so you may read or you may mention orally. Oh, this chart is about the frequency distribution of student speaking skill scores. So do not ever, okay, do not ever forget to let your listeners or your readers know about what the chart is actually about. Okay, start with the title or inform them what the chart is about. And this is very important to name your chart with the main information in the chart itself. So the name or the label of your chart should represent the information in your chart. Okay, sometimes I also experience my students when I tested them in Munakosa examination. They have different name for the chart, but the contents is not representative at all with the name. Okay, name and also the information in chart, or name of the table and then in information in the table, they are not similar. I mean, they do not have connection, so they do not represent. Do you understand what I mean? So they do not fit the name. Okay, the chart doesn't fit the name. Okay, so please make sure that you inform your listener, you inform your readers, uh, the chart is about what. Okay, what is the chart about? And the name should represent the real information or the suitable information that you are going to inform them through the chart. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to repeat that again and again. I mentioned that more than twice, right? More than 2 times. It is on purpose to make you remember. Okay, to remind you. I want to remind you, so you do not copy, or you do not do the same mistake as your senior did before in our department. Okay, now let us go again analyzing this, how to read that. So the first thing I mentioned you before is let the listeners, or let your audience, let your readers knows about what the chart you are going to read, what the chart you are going to present. And the second one is please present your chart by having, okay, please read or present your chart by having the dominant information from the chart. Look at the example I have here. So you may start with the lowest score or the highest score, and then you can go to the medium, or you can go on the next step by mentioning or by informing your audience about the rest of the data left. Okay, but please do not forget, you've got to have your analysis. Your analysis, not only reading a chart is not only reading one by one in, I mean, in the sequence. So number one, so for example, the first data, the second data, and then you go to the third data, the fourth data, the fifth data, in sequence. Okay, no, it should not be like that. Okay, it would be better if you go with the dominant one, the highest one, the lowest one. Okay, that's very much recommended for you, so that the audience interested in your speaking, interested in your writing. Okay, so they can figure out the main information of your presentation or from your writing. And what else you need to do after you got the title, you got the name of the chart, and then you tell the audience about the information in your chart. And the last, maybe you can have conclusion. Okay, you could have conclusion. So number 3 is please have conclusion for your chart. What can you conclude from the chart? Okay, actually the conclusion is could, I mean, you could restate the dominant points or the dominant information from the chart. Okay, but do not forget, even you have your analysis for the second. Okay, let us, for example, you mentioned the highest one, and then you go to the lowest one, and then the medium one. Do not forget to still mention, okay, to still mention the rest of the data. Mention all of the data. Okay, do not miss even a single or one of the data if you have time. Okay, if you have time. But if you only speak for an audience for about 3 minutes or 1 minute, and it takes a lot of time to tell about all of the data than just. Well, we go to the next example of chart. This is chart 4.2, the classification of student speaking skills scores. This is one of the example of circle chart or pie chart. And look at what do we have before the chart. Here, there is an information about the data that should be displayed in pie chart. So you may see over here that there are data like very good, good, enough, less, failed. So they are the classification of student speaking skills scores, and for every category like very good, there is a range of scores from 80 until 100. So that's going to be very good, and the frequency and also percentage. So there are three different information of the data. The first is category, and the second is frequency, and the last is percentage or percent. And actually, even this is short, I mean, there are only five data, five rows of data. There are five numbers. You may see the numbers on the row number 1 until number 5. We can actually we can actually make our listeners or our readers easier understanding this classification of student speaking skills scores by having this kind of chart. Okay, I mean this pie chart. Look at this. Okay, I think this is much more informative and very easy to read, very easy to understood by people, very easy to be understood by our listeners or even our readers, because from this pie or this kind of circle, there are slices or like pieces of chart, like cake, right? This is like cake. So the biggest portion of the slice, it takes for 70.25%, and there are 50 to 52 students for this. And what is this for? This is for good category. Okay, so beside the information within the chart, I mean the slices of every pie, we also have small informations to make the readers, our listeners, know about the color, right? Okay, from the color. So the pink color, it goes to good category. So the classification of student speaking skill category. So the biggest category is very easy to notice, right? So the biggest category for student speaking score is good, right? How do we know? Because the portion or the slices of the pie, the biggest one, the biggest portion of the pie is in pink color, and the pink color represent the good category, and the good category, so the range score for good category is 66 until 79 of score. And I think this is not difficult at all. Okay, how to read pie chart, right? So later on, again, my students, if I assign you to present a chart, you've got to read and present it. The procedure are not different. Okay, they are not different from the previous explanation I mentioned you. So start with the labels or the informations about the chart, what the chart is actually about, what the pie chart is actually about. And the second one, you've got to let your audience know. Okay, your audience knows about the dominant information or the main important information. They are all important. Okay, do not forget, they are all important, even the small slices or the small portion of cake, the small portion of pie, I mean the small portion of the pie. Like on the screen, you may see the smallest one is 2%, not 2%, but 0%. Okay, 0%. So there is no student for that category. Is that important to be presented or to be mentioned to your audience? Yes, that's important. If you have time for your presentation, after you go with the dominant information, the biggest one or the lowest one, the highest one, then you go to the rest of other pieces of data. Okay, so do not forget, if you have time, mention them all. Okay, that's gonna be good. Because this, even that small, who knows that your audience really cares about that small. Okay, who knows that you are presenting in a public speaking, talking about academic thing, and then your audience are coming from the small category, for example. Of course that their attendance will be for that small, right? Will be for that category, because they are the representatives for that category. So if you have time and if you think you are the one who knows when you will tell all the information, or you just skip the rest of the data and just talk about the dominant information. So you are the one who determine that. Okay, you are the one who knows which one is better for your presentation. Okay, be clever, be smart in your presentation. Look at the condition and look at the audiences. Okay, look at the audiences. You've got to know your audiences before you're speaking. Okay, I think this is clear enough. If you are not clear, just mention on the comment column and then I'll answer that. Or maybe I need to repeat that. But I think if I need to repeat that, just go and play again this video, right? So I don't have to speak again. I don't have to explain the same thing again. Just replay, okay? Replay the video and listen again. Okay, we are done with this pie chart. We've also done with bar chart. And what else? This is histogram. Okay, histogram. Histogram, the way we read and the way we present the histogram, I think that's not different too with the previous charts. Okay, just go with the name of that chart. Okay, what the chart is actually about, and then the information within the chart. Start with your analysis. Okay, do not forget to have your conclusion at the end. Okay, for the information given. And this is still similar. I mean, this is another kind of example for pie chart. Actually, in your pie chart, you may have the slices in separate way, or you may have them together. Like the previous slides I show you, right, in the very beginning of my explanation in PowerPoint slide. So the chart could be stick together, okay, without having separate. So the slices is not in a separate area, but they are in all, okay, in all. I mean, as in one unity, okay, as one unity. I'm sorry. It depends on your creativity actually. And also this is another example of histogram. You may have a group of lines behind the bar, okay, behind the bar. You may also have the colors in it or you may just skip the lines and skip the color. That's gonna be up to you. And is that important to present or to read the lines behind the bars? No, that's not important. That's only creativity in making or designing your chart. Okay, so your concern for reading the chart is only the axes, okay, the information, the data, what the chart is about, and then the information within the chart, and then your analysis in the chart and how to read that. Of course that you've got to use the axis, okay, so which one is the horizontal. So in horizontal line, that's gonna be x or y, axis. So in vertical line, it's gonna be your y, right, y axis, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, So look at here, what I have here. So the horizontal line is the score, his for score, and the vertical line is for frequency. So you've got to read them and then combine your explanation. So the way you read the chart is, for example, look at the highest bar. The highest bar for the score is above 12.5 in frequency, right? So in frequency, so that's the highest score. Maybe you can start with that. So the way you look at that is you see the horizontal axis or the horizontal information, and then you compare that with the vertical, okay? Horizontal and then vertical, okay? Horizontal, look at the horizontal and look at the symbols that go up, okay? And then compare that to the vertical, okay? The vertical lines or the vertical axis, okay? On the left side of the chart. That's easy. I'm pretty sure that you understand this explanation because you've done with math classes when you were at senior high school or junior high school, or even in elementary school. We also learn math in elementary school, right? So I'm pretty sure that you know well about how to read a chart, especially for bar, right? And what else? The example I have. The class, this is still similar, okay? This is pie chart or circle chart. And what else? This is histogram, okay? This is another kind of histogram example. But when I designed it, I just think that I need to create my histogram beautifully, okay? I need to have colors and then have some creativity in it. So I put like the lines of the small boxes inside the bar, okay? So that's not it doesn't have any influence the way you read or present your chart, okay? That's only creativity to make your chart looks beautiful, okay? Beautiful and interesting. What else? This is still similar chart. So pie chart and histogram, okay, bar chart, they are most common chart used, okay? Most common chart used. Look at my writing here. So I only have histogram, pie chart, and then bar chart, because that's only about scores, percentage, distribution, and others. So I don't need any areas because I'm not talking about any specific areas. So I don't have to have um, like area chart, okay? And here still similar, okay? I'll scroll it fast so that we can see what other kind of chart do I have here. Still similar, right? So there are only histogram, pie chart, and what else? I think that's all, right? This is what I was talking to you. Okay, this is what I was talking to you before that. This is another form of pie chart, okay? Another form of pie chart which the slices are not separated, so they are still in one unity, okay? You may see. So the way we see that only on the different color or different slices it has, and you should not make the slices out of the circle and to have their own stance, no, okay? And what else? This is what magnitude. Do I have scatter ball? Oh, this is the end. This is the end of the example I have for histogram and chart. Let us see another example here. Scatter and bar chart over here. Well, I think this is a new graph for you. Maybe this is new and maybe this is not. Okay, so Kiki plot for the normality of reported speech mastery data. So this is another kind of chart I have for scatter. So if you go to chart in your computer and then you design a chart in scatter, so there are some types of scatter chart. You can have Kiki plot and other kind of plots or scatter plot. Okay, you may choose. It depends on your data and it depends on your intention to have that chart. Okay, my intention for having this was to let my audience or my readers know about the normality of my data, the data about reported speech mastery. Okay, so it goes up. You may see the small dots. It goes up. Okay, what does it mean? Does it normal or not? The data normal or not? So this is, I think this kind of chart is very good to let your examiners later on if you sit for thesis exam. Okay, or if you want to let your audience know fast about your data, I mean your research data, whether they are normal or not. They do not have to see a raw data and then read it one by one. It takes time actually. Just have this kind of plot, Kiki plot, and then they can understand, oh, this is normal, oh, this is not normal, only by the graph. Okay, by the graphical information in the chart itself. Okay, uh, okay, this is another kind of cute. This is another kind of cute pie chart. This is also pie chart, okay, but I designed this through Excel, Microsoft Excel. Just like a pie, but there is a hole in it, a hole in the middle. That's also named pie chart or circle chart. Another chart. And this is also another Kiki plot for the normality test for my data to check whether the data are normal or not. Another histogram. This is histogram again. Here, hey, this is it. The scatter plot correlation. Okay, I think it should be the last example I have for today. The scatter plot correlation. I think this chart is also very good for correlational study. If you study about correlation, the correlation between two variables, for example, here what I have here is the scatter plot correlation between, I mean, the what I correlate are speaking ability and reported speech mastery. So you may see here on the horizontal line, reported speech mastery and speaking ability. So the first group of dots or the small circles in my scatter chart is in reported speech, and the second one is it goes like it goes up, in speaking ability. And if you carefully see that every dot goes making a line up, okay, so it says that what can be concluded from this chart, it is said that the data, I mean between variables, both of the variables are correlated each other. Okay, that's the conclusion. They have a strong correlation, and how that the data goes up. So that's one of the indication how to read your chart. Actually, for scatter plot and also histogram, you got to know too about research. Okay, how to analyze your data and others, how is the conclusion, and how to understand that scatter plot. You need to have prior knowledge for reading and also for presenting a chart. Well, I think that's all about kinds of data, how to read that and how to present that. Maybe I'll just sum up my explanation. So any other kind, if you have to present or if you have to read a chart, make sure that first you let your audience know about what the chart is about. So that's the name of the title, or you can name your chart. Okay, if it has no name, then you have to name it, okay, what the chart is about. And the second one is you have to present or read the information in that chart, within the chart, okay, within the chart. And how to go with your presentation, I mean the information in the chart, you go with the dominant information first, okay, which one is the highest, which one is the lowest, and you still need to mention the rest of the data. And the last, do not forget to give conclusion, okay, for your information, and then close your presentation. That's it. So that's very easy. And please use the axis to help you, okay, the horizontal axis, the vertical axis, the x axis or y axis, okay. That's gonna help you a lot to read the data within the chart, okay. You need to compare the horizontal information and with the vertical information, and then you compare and see the symbol, whether it is bar. If it is in bar, you see that, okay. But if it is in circle or pie chart, this is very easy. This is gonna be very easy for you, because you just need to see the slices, okay, the slices of that, the slices of the information, right? Which one takes big portions, I mean the slice, which one of the slices is the biggest, or which one is smaller, okay. So you mentioned them all, okay. I think that's all about my explanation. And what about your assignment? What about your next assignment, my students? For this class, for our fourth meeting, so that's gonna take 2 meetings, okay. So in this first meeting, you've got to find a row of data, okay. It could be like in table, okay. In table, I mean the data or the informations of the data is in table. That's gonna be okay. If you cannot find a table, then you may have just like a collection of data, and then you try to create a figure, or I mean you've got to create a chart and choose, okay, whether you want to use bar chart, column chart, pie chart, line chart, okay, scatter, okay. It depends on your data, okay. That's for the first week. And for the second week, you've got to be able to read that information, okay. Read and present that information, what the information contains in that chart, okay. I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching me for watching me at this apartment thing. I'm sorry I cannot use Zoom. I'm still in my parents' house, okay. The connection is not really good. So actually, before this streaming, I recorded myself. That's only for your information, okay. That's all my students. Thank you. I'm not really good at closing, okay. See you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.